Good evening and welcome back to Warhammer Wednesdays on Garblag Games. Yes, we're rusty, but we are super excited to be here. And we're going to be starting a brand new game called The Sins of Talagaad using Cubicle 7's new game, Warhammer The Old World. Now, it's not out yet. It's you can pre-order it, both the Game Master's screen and the players, or the Game Master's guide and the player's guide, and a whole bunch of other things. And if you do pre-order them, you'll get the PDFs right away. That's what we're going to be playing off of. And in fact, today I even saw that they released the cover for the starter set, which looks awesome. So they're going to be getting more of my money here as soon as they send it out for pre-order. Um, you might be asking yourself, why are we doing Warhammer the Old World instead of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th Edition, which is arguably one of my favorite games? A couple reasons. This is new and shiny, and we want to explore this new rule set in this new time period of Warhammer. But more importantly, there is no way in hell that you are going to get me to try to follow in the footsteps of Pete's Flint and Steel or Jim's Once Upon a Time in the Old World, because I am not worthy to be on the same pedestal as those two GMs. So we are playing this game, and that's just the way it's going to be. So without further ado, I'm going to let my players introduce themselves, and then we're going to dive into session 0 and do some character creation for this new game.
And that's me first because we're going in alphabetical order. So good evening, everybody. My name is Dan. Very much looking forward to playing Warhammer Fantasy: The Old World. First time doing this as well as everyone else, and can't wait to get into it. Going to see how it's like with the new system. Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay for me was the first ever roleplay game I ever played. I think, yeah, the original one, first edition, and very, very fond memories of that, which is why I've still got my original one.
Nice.
Well, that will be me next in the running order because I'm also Dan. Just in case you didn't know. And I am very excited to be back. It's been a while and back playing Warhammer Wednesdays, so super, super excited. And Aaron has asked us to give you our first memory of Warhammer and Warhammer Fantasy, and mine is the miniature game. And I think my fondest and long-standing memory was shouting for the lady in the middle of an entire game room at Warhammer World as a Duke rode across the battlefield on his Pegasus and crashed into a unit and then promptly died. But it was glorious, as it should be.
Hi, I'm Roger, and it's very good to be back on Warhammer Wednesdays, seeing this motley crew of misfits and causing chaos and making Pete facepalm at what we do. But yeah, so my first memory, I'll go with the first one of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay because it's a bit easier for me to remember because it's a little bit closer. Sort of in the early to mid 90s, my mum, knowing I played Warhammer, saw a copy of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay for 99p in a secondhand bookshop. Bought it because she saw Warhammer on the cover, and that's how I discovered role-playing in general. It was my first ever RPG. I got a group together and we started causing chaos in the old world.
Hi, I'm Stu. Can't wait to get stuck in. My first memory, I'm going to show my age now because we're talking 1985. And it was before Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay was even invented. The very first edition of Warhammer, the battle rules also included role-playing parts as well. So you could roll up a character, a hero, for the battle game. And that's what I did. So that was the first time. But Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, about 1989, come to university, played with a few friends. And I always remember my first character in Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay because he was a druid, and he was a mad axe-wielding druid, of course. What else? But also the computer games as well. I don't know if anyone's ever played. I'm sure you all have, but one of my favourite ones is Shadow of the Horned Rat, where I managed to kill Nagash at the end of the game with my steam tank by rolling it over him.
Oh, the Grudge
Wonderful.
Bringers.
Oh, that
Shadow
was
Horn
great.
Rock, man, that
Good
game was
times.
legendary.
Fantastic. And to round it out, so my first memories, this was back in the 80s. I was managing a comic book store, and Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay first edition came out. I bought it the day it hit the shelves, rolled up a character, convinced one of my friends to run the game, ended up with a dwarf pit fighter who, in his first pit fight, got his head chopped off. And I thought to myself, this is the game I need to be playing. And I have never looked back. Good times. But enough about the past. We're going to look into the future. So, a little bit about the setting of this game. So, in this time period, the Empire, which was once a mighty edifice of order and the mightiest human nation of the old world, has floundered a bit. Although it was founded by the mighty Sigmar millennia ago, those who would be the heirs to this legacy have proved unworthy to the task. The Empire has been fragmented into disparate provinces, united in name only, and by the spirit of the common people, but politically weak and divided. It is now 2276 IC, and with the Vampire Wars ending about a century ago and the threat to chaos reassuringly distant, the Empire's nobility believes they are secure enough to indulge in their political ambitions. There are 4 primary claimants who have declared themselves the rightful emperor, each with their own supporters and armies. They watch each other very warily, vigilant for plots or maneuvers that might upset the delicate balance of power and throw the Empire into open war. In doing so, they neglect much that may soon cause them to have regrets. The Empire's great enemies are far from vanquished. They merely recover their strength out of sight in secrecy. They must muster their dark forces and salivate as the leaderless Empire fragments. When exposed, these enemies strike back with merciless fury, silencing any witnesses who might reveal the growing danger in their midst. At the heart of the Empire in the Grand Duchy of Talabheim lies the town of Talagaad. It is a river port on the border between the rival powers of Talabek and Osterland, caught forever in the shadows of the mightier city of Talabheim. It is a benighted haven for smugglers and bandits and a moldering collection of hopelessness and loss. It is also your home, at least for now. It's where you earn your bread, where you live and keep whatever modest possessions you have or that you manage to accrue. You know the people here. Some are firm allies, other bitter rivals. Your fate and the fate of Talagaad is inextricably linked. Without one, the other will fall. Now, at a first glance, the port of Talagaad is hardly impressive. It is a ramshackle collection of disparate buildings at dire risk of being washed away by the deep Talabak River. The town is a sprawl of dilapidated temples, warehouses, shops, and hovels. Its sole architectural achievement is an ancient stone bridge known as the Wizard's Crossing, which spans the river to connect the port's uneven halves. It is ringed in a dour but functional fortified wall that seems designed to constrain the moldering masses of the town rather than keep the enemy at bay. Visitors' first impressions of the townsfolk tend to be similarly underwhelming. A disheveled lot bickering over opportunities for profit, thronging narrow streets in much the same way as fleas-infested dogs hide. Familiarity with Talagaad, it is said, rarely improves one's first impressions. Now, we're not going to know for a while what brought these characters to Talagaad. Has this been their home all along? Have they washed up on its shores with no prospects? Are they here for some other more nefarious reason? Well, we're going to find out some of that starting today. So this is session 0, as I said earlier. So we're going to walk step by step through character creation until we develop these 4 heroes or villains, and then set them up for their grim portent, which will be next session. So everybody ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at the player's handbook, if you've got it open, if not, I've got it open. We start with origins. Now, with Warhammer Fantasy 4th Edition, these have the basic origins that you would all be familiar with a little twist. So we have two kinds of humans. We've got Bretonnian humans and we've got Imperial humans. We have dwarfs, halflings, high elves, and wood elves. Now, the way this game works is you can randomly generate a character or you can choose. And if you randomly generate like your origin and you decide to keep that, you get 1 bonus experience point to spend. One, if you've been playing Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th Edition, you know 1 doesn't sound like a lot, but advancement in this game works very differently. So 1 experience point is a fairly good start to advancing by either buying a talent or advancing a characteristic. So it's a D10 roll. We're going to go in alphabetical order again. I would say, even if you know what you want, go ahead and roll randomly, because you might get what you want randomly and still get a bonus experience point. So, Dan M. Bless you.
That was perfect timing, wasn't it?
That was awesome.
Right, okay, roll a d10. I think I know what I want, but what I really, really want. But I will roll d10. That's 2d10. How do I get it to roll 1d10?
Press the D10 button.
Just press the d10 button like that. 9.
9. So 9 is a high elf. So you can be a high elf or and get 1 bonus experience point, or you can choose something else. What do you think?
Actually, high. I mean, I was going to go for Empire Human, but High Elf is very tempting.
And as we all saw in Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th Edition, different careers, different origins have different potential careers. So there are some that are just high elf careers.
Okay, let's see how it pans out with High Elf.
I like it. And you can, and like once we get to careers, if you don't like how it's rolling out, you can always switch back. But at the least for the moment, you have 1 bonus experience point.
Cool.
Dan P. Or Dan P. Like to say other Dan.
Other Dan, that's me. Let's roll up. I am a 6.
Ooh. 6 is an Imperial human.
As I said prior to this event, everybody, I would be doing random other than career. And so I'm sticking to that. I'm completely random. I'm an Empire human.
So you have +1, or you get 1 bonus experience point. All right, Stu.
Okay, let's give it a roll.
That's not alphabetical.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Go on, Rob. Yeah, please.
Right, you made my doubt my alphabet for a second there.
Right, it's a little bit of
doubt your existence.
Wait, am I here? I don't remember how to do this. 8.
8. Halfling. You don't have to stick with it. You can.
No, I'm going to debate what I want to be, but I don't really fancy playing a halfling.
All right. And Stu.
Now
it's now your turn.
Okay, and I've got a 7.
A 7 is an Empire human. So you can keep that, or you can choose something else. If you keep it, you get a bonus experience point.
I think I'm going to choose actually on this, and I'm going to go for a wood elf.
All right. So at the moment we have a wood elf, an Imperial human, possibly a high elf, and something else. Now, each one of the origins has different starting characteristics. So this is what you would be filling in for your weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength, toughness, initiative, agility, reason, fellowship, and fate. And you can see that across the top. So if you know for a fact you're sticking with, well, your wood elf, half elf, or Imperial human, those are your base starting. And with this game, that's the number of D10 you roll to attempt to succeed is based on your characteristic.
Okay, I don't have access to the
I will tell you. So if you are a human, you start with 2 in weapon skill, 2 in ballistic skill, 3 in strength, 3 in toughness, 3 in initiative, 3 in agility, 2 in reason, 2 in fellowship, and you start with 3 fate points. And we'll talk about fate points a little bit later down the road.
And what about a wood elf?
Oh, sorry,
Would be
wood elf.
elf.
That's
That's
right.
okay.
That's
3.
3 in weapon skill, 3 in ballistic skill, 3
Yeah.
in strength,
Yeah.
2 in toughness,
Yeah.
3 in initiative, 3
Yeah.
in agility, 3
Yeah.
in reason, and 3
Yeah.
in fellowship.
Yeah.
But only 1 fate point.
Fate point. Yeah. Okay.
So as with other games, elves are just a bit better than everybody else at most
As it should be.
things. But fate does not necessarily look kindly on them. In fact,
And neither
only
does the population of the Empire.
that's true. Only the only origin that actually has anything higher than a 3 is the dwarf, and they have 4 in toughness. Okay, so now we get an opportunity to modify those characteristics a little bit. So that brings us to the next possible random chart. So you get to increase 3 characteristics by +1. You can't increase them by more than +1. So you can't like load everything up under 1. But you can now, if you roll randomly and you keep the randomness that you rolled, once again, you get a bonus experience point. But if you just want to choose, you can just choose. I will tell you this. So all characteristics have 2 skills under them. And those 2 skills are your threshold. So if you want to know what the skills are before we roll this, let me know. Otherwise, we're just gonna keep on going.
Cool.
So
3 rolls,
Dan,
was it?
you get 3.
All right. First one. 2. Ballistic skill.
Ballistic skill, yep. I think we've lost Aaron.
Oh no.
Back.
Okay.
Yeah, there he
I
is.
rolled a 2 ballistic skill, I believe.
Yep. And so that's either shooting, bow, crossbow, black powder weapon, or throwing of weapon.
Possibly handy. Next
Okay.
one.
Next one.
5, which is
5
initiative,
is
I think.
initiative. So that's awareness, like perception, your ability to see inside on things, or your awareness of your social interactions with people, and dexterity, and that's your fine motor control, pick locks, pickpockets, loading black powder weapons. So depending on the direction you go, but there are other things. We'll talk a little bit more about the skills when we get to
and last one.
1 weapon skill.
Weapon skill. Oh, okay, that's handy. So
That's melee or defense.
I will keep all of those.
Okay.
To give
Sounds
myself.
like we've got a fighty high elf coming.
Yeah, I'll keep all of those to take another XP.
So that gives you 2 bonus
Mhm.
XP at the moment. All right,
Thank you.
Dan P.
Dan P, let's do this. We got a 3.
That's strength.
Mhm. We get a 8.
8
Fellowship.
is fellowship.
And we get a 6, which is agility.
Nice.
And we'll be
Gonna
keeping
keep
that.
those? All
Yes.
right. So that's 2 XP for Dan P. Roger, I won't screw it up this. Did you decide on what origin you want yet?
Yeah, I've decided to go with Empire Human.
Okay.
I
2
thought-
humans, 2 elves. I like it.
I thought it'd be far more suitable for the party than a dwarf.
Yeah, that would be.
Oops, it would help if I rolled the
Hilarious.
right dice.
It would be funny, but
A 9.
a 9, that is +1 to fate. So you get +1 fate points. You're starting with 4 fate.
Nine again.
You have
Okay,
to
you can't
reroll.
duplicate it, so you re-roll.
Oh, thank God. I was going to say lots of fate's good, but some other stats would be nice.
Unbelievable.
Okay, let's try that again. 1.
1. Weapon skill. So say the point, it looked like you were going to be fated to get more fate because it just wouldn't roll anything but a 9. All right.
Yeah, that was what, 3 in a row?
Yeah.
And 6.
And a 6, that is agility.
Okay.
Are you going to keep all those?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, so that's 1 experience point for you. And Stu.
Okay, so the first roll is a 7.
7 is +1 to your reason.
Mm.
And that's willpower, which comes handy when resisting things. Also, if you're going to cast magic, and recall, which is what you would use to recall knowledge with your lore stats or anything of that nature. So,
Okay. Next one is 3.
3 is strength,
Excellent.
which is brawn. So for unarmed combat or shield bashing or lifting gates and breaking chains, classic stuff.
Breaking planks. And then 4, which I'm guessing is toughness.
Toughness, indeed. And that is survival, outdoor survival, surviving in the wilds, and endurance, which is being able to overcome poisons and disease and all of those. Will you bring all 3 of those?
Yeah, I think so. Why not?
All right, so that gives you 1 XP. One of the other things about toughness is toughness relates to your resilience, which is how much damage you can take and only be staggered. And that's your toughness plus whatever armor you're wearing. Because once it goes over your resilience, you take a wound. And this game doesn't have hit points, so getting wounded can be less pleasant than one would think. All right, so we've got into the origins. Let's actually take a look at them. So we've got Empire humans. So with an Empire human, first and foremost, all of your skills begin at 2. And then you get to raise any 3 skills you want to 3. There's no restrictions on that. Now, if you want to, you can wait until you've decided what your career is before you increase your skills, because that kind of makes a little bit more sense. But just note, for Imperial humans, you get to raise any 3 skills by up to 3. As far as lores, all Imperial humans get lore Empire and any city or provincial lore of your choice. So we're in Talagaad and you're in Talabheim. We're going to be here for a while, so I'm not saying you have to take those as an option, but as far as lores, it might be a reasonable choice.
Sorry, so lore Empire and then a more local one.
Yeah, any city lore or any provincial lore.
I have chosen Talabakland.
Excellent.
Same.
And then I like it. And then, of course, all humans start with 3 fate points unless you got fate like Roger did. And now you get to roll twice on the talent table. So for my humans, Dan P, starting first.
You got an 8.
An 8. That's Taunter.
Taunter. Okay, taunting people.
So, and I'm going to go through these really quick because
Hold the line.
So Taunter, you know how to get under someone's skin, poking at their hidden vulnerabilities or enraging them with obscene gestures. If an enemy you have distracted, which is an action, attacks a creature other than you, their attack is grim. So this game is grim and not
Glorious.
perilous, grim and glorious. So if your roll is grim, all of your successes you have to re-roll. If your roll is glorious, all of your failures you get to re-roll. So it's a little bit of a stacking thing. And your second one was what?
Hold the line.
Hold the line. You issue the command to stand fast, refusing to surrender any ground to the enemy. You may make a leadership test as part of a recovery action to remove the staggered condition from allies in medium range. 1 ally per success. You cannot make another test to treat wounds or remove a condition as part of the same action. So both of your talents are fellowship related.
Good job that I got that as one of my stat increases then.
Yeah. All right. So our next human.
Eight.
An 8. Hold on, let me get back to
Also
that.
Taunter.
Go ahead and re-roll. I mean, you can keep it if you want, but if you want to re-roll that, since we already have a taunter in the group, you can.
Yeah, be interested to see what else is around 9.
A 9, so that's rapid reload.
Okay.
And then go ahead and roll for your second one, and then we'll say what those are.
And 4. Oh, another 4. Let's roll that again. 2.
Faith.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Oh,
Sorry,
that's
what?
it. That's pretty cool.
Faith.
Faith. So faith, your belief in your God, whoever you decide your God to be, is so formidable that you can invoke some measure of the divine power. Choose one God's in the religion chapter. And so long as you abide by that God's tenets, so you need to look at their tenets and strictures, you gain the benefit of that God's favor. And they're basically passive benefits that you get while following that God, as long as you don't screw up. You can then purchase this talent a second time to gain prayers. And you don't have to be a priest to go down this path, though it's recommended that if you get to that point, you might want to try to do the career change endeavor, but it's not required. So as long as you decide what God you want to follow, and as long as you follow their tenets, you have their favor. So we'll talk a little bit about gods here in a little bit, but I'll give you obviously the week to figure out what you want to do with that. And then your first roll was, remind me.
Rapid reload.
Rapid reload. So rapid reload, you have trained with your weapon so many times that handling them is second nature. When you succeed on a dexterity test to reload a weapon, you may immediately aim or attack with the weapon as a second action. You cannot use this talent if you are staggered or if you move during this turn. So that's pretty much across bows and black powder weapons. You
Cool.
do have to, and depending, and just like with in Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4E, you need a certain number of successes for certain weapons. So on your dexterity check, you would need them. But if you manage to succeed, or when you succeeded with your reload, you could immediately then fire your weapon or take the aim action. All right, and let's go with our high elf.
That's me.
So you roll twice on the talent table. Well, first, all of your stats start at 2.
Yes.
You get to raise your awareness, your athletics, your willpower, and your recall to 3. Your lores are high elf realms, literacy, and then an academic lore of your choice. And there's a list of them.
Chosen history.
Fantastic. As we know, your starting fate is 1. You get to roll twice on the talent table, but one of them you have to swap with lightning reflexes.
Okay.
So basically, roll 2d10, take one of the 2 that you get, and then lightning reflexes.
Just before I do that, where's the skill list?
The skill list or the talent list?
The skill list, because I get to raise any other skill to 3.
Oh, it's just if you've got your character sheet, it's just next to the stats. Like next to weapon skill, it says melee and defense, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll take a look at this. All right, roll. First roll. 3.
3, so this would be exceptional hearing. And roll one more time.
What your elf is here?
9. Stand and shoot.
So do you want exceptional hearing or stand and shoot?
I think I'll take stand and shoot.
All right.
And shoot. And so the other one has to be
lightning reflexes.
Lightning reflexes. Lightning.
So lightning reflexes pretty much means you get to go first. Your reaction speed is incredibly fast, allowing you to dodge threats that you aren't even consciously aware of. Unless you are defenseless, which is a condition, you can always oppose an incoming attack with athletics. In other words, you can dodge anything unless you're defenseless. In addition, you could take your turn before enemies in battle even if they execute an ambush. So the way this game works is all the players get to go first, and then all the bad guys go, unless the enemies are set up to surprise you. Even if they're set up to surprise you, you still get to go before they do. But then you take your subsequent turns at the same time as your other allies. So you move fast. And then your second one was stand and shoot. Stand and shoot. You meet the assault of a rampaging foe with a shot right between the eyes. If you are charged at by an enemy you aimed at in your last turn, you may make a shooting attack against them before they make their attack, using the bonus dice from your aim action. You can make your attack at any point in the charge move to capitalize on your weapon's optimum range. So the prerequisite is that you aimed, they start to, and then before they get to attack, you unload on them.
Cool.
All right. One quick second. I gotta say hello. Somebody in chat. All right. So, Wood Elf.
Hello.
let's have some fun. So, for a Wood Elf, all your skills begin at 2. You get to raise survival, awareness, athletics, and stealth to 3.
Okay. Athletics, survival, and survival, awareness, athletics, and
stealth.
Stealth. Crikey. Does that go on initiative?
Yes.
It does, yeah.
I think it's initiative. Don't quote me on that, but I think it
is. No, we'll find out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stealth and agility, by the way.
Oh, agility. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You get your lores are Wood Elf Realm.
Yeah.
Woodcraft, and either lore Kingdoms of Bretonia or lore Beastman Brayherds. So you understand how Beastmen move, their structures of their Brayherds, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
We're not going to Bretonia. I'm just saying it's not for a while. So
okay, Eastman herds. Then let's go for that.
All right. So the Beastman Brayherds. Your starting faith is already 1. Much like our high elf friend, you automatically must swap one of your talents for lightning reflexes.
I get
so you. Go ahead and roll twice. I'll tell you what they are, and you can decide which one to drop.
Do I get to put another one up of my own choice to 3 as well, like the other elf, or the skill?
Not at the moment. At the end, you get to adjust.
Okay.
You get to adjust some other things as well.
Okay, got you. So I've taken Woodcraft.
All right. Well, that's good because that's surviving in the woods. So that's
what I thought, being a wood elf and all.
Yeah, which would make sense. So roll.
So first roll
twice.
Yeah, a 7.
A 7, keen-eyed, so good vision.
Yeah.
And what's your second?
And the second one is a 1.
A 1 is acrobatic. So tell me what those 2 are before you decide which one you want to switch out.
Okay.
If I can get back to talents. There we go. All right. Acrobatic. Your heightened mobility allows you to spin around the battlefield, leaving your foes grasping at air. Enemies do not block your movement, even when you give ground. You simply slip past them with ease. You have the hazard rating for any fall, rounding down to a minimum of 0. Now, in this game, when you're attacked, if it doesn't exceed your resilience, you become staggered. If you get hit again and it doesn't, things happen. You either have to give ground, fall prone, or take a wound. You can only give ground if you've got an adjacent zone that you can move into. So like if you were in melee with a couple of beastmen, you wouldn't necessarily be able to give ground, which means you'd either have to fall down or take a wound. But with this talent, you can give ground regardless. So it's pretty handy.
Yeah, I think we'll stick with acrobatic actually, and take
lightning reflexes.
Yeah,
fantastic.
I think it will become clear.
Oh yeah, once we get into a fight, it will become clear. All right, so now we'll take a look at the careers. So this is a D100 roll.
This is
we'll
the
start,
big one.
This is the big one. So we'll start with our 2 humans again. So roll a D100, you Imperial humans, and let's see what we get here. A 42 for Imperial humans is laborer. So you can either be a laborer like a stevedore or any of that, or a carpenter. Oh no, that's an artisan. You can be a laborer, or you and get a bonus XP.
Oh, lost Aaron again.
I think we know what you're going for, Dan.
What's that?
What's career-wise?
Yeah.
You thinking priest?
No, if I'd rolled faith, I would have definitely gone priest, but I didn't roll faith. So, and based on my boosts, which were strength, agility, and fellowship, my choices really are brigand or entertainer, and I don't want to be an entertainer, so I'm going to be a brigand.
Nice, brigand. I like it.
Yeah. So I was very clear that the only thing I was going to pick in this was the career, because I thought with random characteristics, if you then also do a random career, the likelihood is you're going to end up something that just doesn't meld. I could have been a knight, but that's very predictable, and I always play very fighty characters. Also, I figured that the talent prey on the weak goes very well with my taunter skill as well. So I am playing a brigand.
It's a shame you're not Bretonian with your taunting there, isn't it?
Get away!
In your general direction.
Your father was a hamster, your mama smelled a Velderbird. Go away before I taunt you a second time.
And an interesting bit of lore about brigands in and around Talagaad is they have very comfortable coexistence with the city watch. As long as you steal from people outside of the city limits, you can bring your ill-gotten booty into the city and sell it, and they don't care. It's a little bit of the Robin Hood side to it, the green men.
Sounds a bit privateery.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Talagaad is just a full-on capitalist hellhole. I love it. Roger with the 97. That is the town watch. So you can be a watchman. The counterpart
be on the other side of
Dan's
it.
brigand.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
What's going on here then?
That would be quite cool.
I mean,
or you can pick whatever you want.
I mean, surely
I will have a look, and while the others roll up their careers.
Just a quick one for you, Rod. You know you rolled faith.
Mm-hmm.
If you do pick priest, you get faith a second time, which means you automatically get access to the prayers.
That is true.
That's quite cool.
Yeah,
that is true.
There's some very cool cults now. It's not just Sigmarites, which are boring.
Oh, yeah. Got them all. And yeah, their prayers. And we talked about this a little bit in the chat. So there is no prayer roll anymore. It's just you take an action, you enact your prayer. But most of the prayers for all of the different cults are ways of buffing or debuffing other actions. So they're not as proactive as some of them were in Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4E. So, but yeah, the priest is very cool. So think about that. Let's take a look at our high elf.
I'm a bit nervous about this. All right, let's do it.
Remember, give it a roll, and if you don't like it, you get to pick.
11.
An 11. That's an artisan. I say pick it. Pick whatever you want. We want to have fun with these characters.
Oh, well, yeah, it's not going to be an artisan. I don't know, because being a high elf...
Lothran Seaguard.
Yeah, I was thinking Lothran Seaguard with those fighty skills.
Yeah, Seaguard would be a good fit.
Perfect thing to be in the middle of the landlocked.
It also works really well, your stand and shoot ability. Naval discipline.
We are very far from the sea.
We are very far.
Yes, but Talagaad has one of the only high elf
enclaves.
And it's the Sea Guard that guard the enclave.
Yep.
They guard the embassy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a reason. I mean, that's why they included it in here.
All right, I like that. Yeah. Okay.
For it. So there's also the Shadow Warrior, which are the when the Nagath broke away, they're the ones who chose not to follow him. They're brass tiered, so they're not rich, but they're ninjas. They're elf ninjas.
They are also very grim in the way they deal with things.
Oh yeah, they are
Edgy
brutal.
high
They're,
elves.
they're like literally one step away from being dark elves.
Oh yeah. I mean, they're on the cusp. But those are the two that are unique to the high elves.
I think I will be a Lothrian Sea Guard.
I love it. I love it.
So I'll go and have a look at that.
All right.
So does that give me another XP? Oh no, because I chose it. So
You-
I've just got the 2. Sorry, yeah.
Opportunities here.
Okay.
Additional. So Stu, what's our taking out?
Okay, let's have a. Sorry, is it not Rog? Is it Rog? Having a. You're next.
He already rolled.
No,
He
he's
rolled.
already done because he's
Yeah,
human.
we did
And now he's contemplating.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm looking
humans
at
humans
careers.
first, of course. I've rolled a 6 on a D100.
A 6 on a D100 is an apothecary for your wood elf.
Nice.
So that's up to you.
The chemist.
I mean,
yeah, but-
apothecaries, if I remember, I do have some healing skills, and healing is
Yeah,
I mean,
I
it's
can.
nothing
As
to
a
take
as a
stick
wood
at.
elf, it would be kind of, herbalism and all that sort of stuff.
Aaron, sorry, it's a very quick
Yes.
question. When it says
Aaron.
favoured characteristics, is that just what you should have?
No,
Or-
no. Now, favored characteristics, when you go to increase your characteristics using advancements, it takes 1 less experience point for you to increase those characteristics.
Thank you.
Do you know what? I'm going to choose my career, but I am going for another Elven classic.
Nice.
Entertainer.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, I was hoping rat catcher.
Unfortunately, you can't be a rat catcher as an elf. I don't think. I
Oh,
don't think it lets you.
No, not as a wood elf.
right, it could back in first edition.
There are a couple of uniquely wood elf ones. The Wildwood Ranger is one, and where's the other one?
Yeah, there's 2, isn't there? There's like
Yeah,
The Way
sort of
Watcher is the other
rangery
one.
types.
the White
I think-
Watcher. Yep.
Yeah.
But
No, this
Entertainer.
works for me, the entertainer, because it goes to the idea I had to start with about the pugilist, because
Mhm.
it seems as though under entertainer they've taken on the sort of pit fighter almost. So the idea is he's a sort of a ring, basically. He stands in the ring and people come and challenge him for money.
I love
So-
it. I love it.
Yeah.
So we're going to go through. We're going to do a quick look. Everybody obviously should read through their character class between now and when we start. But we'll start with the brigand. So your brass. We'll get into what that means in a minute.
It means I'm poor.
Yeah. Oh no, you're poor. But in this game, it's a little bit more dialed in than it is in 4E. It matters. It seems to matter more. So your favorite characteristics are ballistic skill, strength, and agility.
Yeah.
You got skill bonuses to 4 of the following: melee, shooting, brawn, awareness, stealth, or leadership. Did you pick your 4 already?
Yeah, so I'm doing melee, shooting, awareness, and stealth.
Wonderful. And your lores, the additional lores you get are provincial lore.
Mm-hmm.
So if you wanted to change your provincial lore to city lore from the last one, then you can.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll have Talagaad because that makes sense. That
Yeah.
now I'm a brigand, I'd have Talagaad because I'd probably be in with all the watch and stuff.
Absolutely.
And then I'll use my provincial will be Talabakland.
And you get to choose either criminal underworld or black powder.
Black powder. Because
Yeah.
you need black powder to fire black powder weapons. You can't.
You
You
didn't
can't
even
use a
think about it. It didn't even
No.
think about it.
No. It's because purely if you want to use a black powder weapon, you have
You
to have the
have
black powder lore.
lore. Yep.
That's the only way you can use black powder weapons. So I will be taking black powder, please, sir.
I like it. Trappings: an axe or sword, an axe or shield, a crossbow or pistol or blunderbuss, light armor, a game set, traveler's pack, or a black powder kit. Now, since you chose black powder, I'm assuming it's either going to be pistol or blunderbuss and black powder kit for a couple of
Yep.
those choices.
So I'm going to do sword, shield, pistol, and black powder kit as my
Wonderful.
the 4 optiony bits I get to pick.
Now we've got assets. You can choose either a secret hideout at brass level, or a horse and stables at brass level, or a mark of honor.
Highwayman.
Now I'm gonna now.
Highwayman.
Is Aaron frozen, or is he just staring at the screen?
I think he's frozen.
I don't know.
This is a professionalism you can always guarantee from Garblag.
Yeah, I've decided between secret hideout or horse and stables. Because let's face it, why would a brigand have a mark of honor? I guess if I was part of the Green Men, maybe.
That would actually be quite cool. What are the Green Men like a Robin
They're basically
Hood-y
Robin
type
Hood.
thing?
Yeah, they're basically like Robin
Yeah,
Hoody type thing.
That sounds pretty cool, to be fair.
Yeah, I might. Yeah, let's go mark of honor. So I'm got honor amongst thieves. I'm a decent brigand, not a completely
You
evil
steal from
brigand.
bad people.
Steal from the rich and give to the poor. We'll take a little
So,
cut.
sorry for that. My internet is unstable at the best of times, much like my own psychology. So, what I say is keep those options, and after we get every go in, and we'll take a look at the assets separately, all together, but one. And the same with contacts. So you get 2 contacts for a brigand. It's either comrades in arms or wanderers and wastrels, 1 of each or 2 of one, and we will do contacts and assets separately. But you do get the career talent prey on the week, which you already sort of described. So,
yeah.
And our next is entertainer. So this is for you, Stu. Again, you're brass. So not the richest guy. Your favorite characteristics are strength, agility, and fellowship. You get +1 skill to 4 of the following: throwing, brawn, awareness, dexterity, athletics, or charm. So you get pick 4 of those and increase those skills by 1.
Did you say athletics was one of them?
Athletics is one of them. Charm, dexterity, awareness, brawn. So like if you want to punch people, brawn.
Yes.
Or throwing.
And throwing. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've selected the 4.
Okay, fantastic. You also get either a city lore or provincial lore.
Let's go for provincial lore.
Okay. And you either get music or literacy. So you can either play and or sing a musical instrument, or you can read and write.
I think we need music myself.
All right, music, fantastic. So you have lore, music. You can read music, you can perform. You have a dagger. You have a brace of throwing knives.
Yeah.
You have a stage costume, a grooming kit, and musician's gear. Now, kits, like if you don't have a kit relevant to what you're trying to do, you can't really do it unless you've got a talent that lets you bypass it. And clothing and costumes, they have different mechanical benefits. So we'll look at that between now and next week.
This is like disguise and things like that, isn't it?
Yeah. And your career talent is play to the crowd. Your art is so compelling, you can use it to subtly manipulate your audience. When undertaking the distract action, you never suffer difficulty monitors for the size of your audience. You and your allies gain 1 dice on tests against creatures that you have distracted for as long as you maintain the distraction. So that's a great benefit. So you distract a minotaur and you keep it distracted with your action, and then everybody else gets an extra die to pummel the crap out of it potentially. Your assets, so you're going to choose when we get to the asset section of theater, traveling stage, or secret identity, and this would be at the brass level for you.
Yeah.
And your contacts will either be the common folk or wanderers or wastrels. So either 1 of each or 2 of either one of those. Like I said, we'll do contacts and assets separately. Lothern Sea Guard. All right. Your favorite characteristics are, and this should be no surprise to anyone, weapon skill, ballistic skill, and reason. You get a +1 skill bonus to 4 of the following: melee, defense, shooting, athletics, willpower, or leadership. So pick 4 of those.
I've taken athletics, shooting, melee, defense.
Okay. Your lores, you have military lore
Yep.
and sailing lore.
Yep.
Your trappings are a spear, a war bow, a shield, light armor, and your uniform. Your assets that you will be able to choose from the silver level are ship's passage or armory or mark of honor. And we'll talk about those when we get to them. And then your contacts are you get to choose 2, comrades in arms or the common folk, or 2 in either one of those categories. And your career talent is naval discipline. You're an expert with both bow and spear, specialize in repelling boarders before they get too close. The optimum range of your war bow is from short to long range. So basically, the entire field is your optimum range. You also gain +1 dice on any melee or shooting attack against a target at short range.
Yeah. Still, yeah, that's very handy.
Yeah, because this is, like I said, you roll a number of dice against a skill, and all you generally need is 1 to succeed. So
cool.
Roger.
As I said earlier, Dan, as well, that combined very nicely with your stand and shoot ability as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I was going to go with for assets.
So we're gonna go through assets one at a time a little bit later. So it allows you've got some time to think about assets and context. Roger, did you decide?
I did. I wasn't really feeling Town Watch, to be honest.
Totally understand.
So I've decided to go with Noble.
Noble, I like it. Okay, so you are our only gold status individual. So you're silly rich, and that's nice. Your favorite characteristics are weapon skill, initiative, and fellowship. And you get to add 1 to 4 of the following skills. Defense.
It's probably worth making a note of the favored stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
Little F next
Weapon
to it.
skill, initiative, or fellowship.
Yep.
And you get to choose 4 of the following skills to increase by 1. Defense, shooting, willpower, recall, leadership, or charm.
I'm assuming defense is making it harder to be hit, or like
Defense,
parrying or something.
Basically, when you're opposing a melee attack, you can either oppose it with athletics, in other words, you dodge, or with your defense skill. So in this game, that's how it differences a little bit from 4E. It's not just your weapon skill versus weapon skill. I mean, your melee versus melee. It's melee versus defense or athletics.
Okay. Defense sounds like a very good one.
Yes.
I'm considering for my god going with Tal, because I know Tal's very commonly worshipped in this part of the Empire.
Absolutely. Tal and Raya are the 2 big ones in this area.
And Tal's
though Ulrich is still also very well favored here. And
yeah, but it's been done.
Yeah. No, I get you.
So Hagen. I think Tal from memory is all about hunting and
being out wilderness. Yep.
Okay, so I think shooting is probably a good one.
Makes sense.
And then I'm thinking, well, he's leadership and charm. I mean, being a noble, I'm sure he's been schooled in all of that kind of nonsense. I think I'll go with those 2 for my last ones.
The 2 are height and literacy, and you can basically move around in high society. The trappings that you automatically get are or axe, a longbow or crossbow, light armor, lordly attire, and a grooming kit.
Well, Empire nobles have to keep their moustaches in perfect condition.
Exactly. And then assets you'll choose from when we get to assets are a noble estate.
Hang on, sorry.
Okay. Oh no, you're good.
Right.
You're good.
So
either sword or axe, light armor, lordly attire, grooming kit, either a sword or an axe, or a longbow or a crossbow.
I'll have to have a think about the. I think not sword maybe.
Okay. And no rush. Like when it these things
Oh.
like trappings and everything, if you want to change between now and next week,
Okay.
all right. The assets you'll be able to choose from is a noble estate, or a coach, or heirloom war gear, and this is at the gold tier.
I don't know
we'll get to
any
that
of
in a minute.
means, but sure.
Yeah, we'll get when we get to assets, we'll go over all of them. So just keep that in mind. And your contacts, you get to choose two, either one from the great and the good, and one from comrades in arms, or two from each of those categories. And your career talent is commanding presence. You were raised to believe in your inherent superiority, naturally adopting a position of leadership. Brass and silver status NPCs always expect you to seize command in any social situation. As usual, you gain 1 die on fellowship tests when you conform to their expectations, assuming a test is even necessary. In addition, when you successfully use leadership to persuade an NPC, they are distracted until they have finished your instructions to the letter.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite cool. You let minion do my bidding.
Basically, yeah. Okay, so now we're moving on to contacts. So let's start with the two humans.
Hello. Contacts. So I've got Wastrels and Wanderers, and I've got the other one, Comrades in Arms.
Okay, so
what do I
these
want?
are D100 rolls. You can go ahead and roll for them to see what you want. There's no getting bonus XP from these. So if you roll one you don't like, you can pick it. You can
Where's
pick
the
one.
table? Oh,
So this starts on page
page
Great
58,
and Good
I
start
think.
on Great and Good starts on 57. Comrades in Arms is at 58. And these are D100 rolls.
Yeah, okay, so D100, 32.
32, so that would be Lieutenant Danya Klausner.
Oh, that makes absolute sense, doesn't it? She's in the town guard.
Yeah, she's she's Talagaad long space. That's a regiment of Imperial troops.
Oh, even better.
And with a 31 to 35, you spend many a night together, rank forgotten, perhaps sharing Bugman's best or Talabak's worst. So she's a drinking friend. She's a pal.
Cool. Drinking. I'm a brigand. We probably like to drink a lot. Yeah. And then my next one, I might do Wanderers and Wastrels for my next one. I like it. Just to give me a little bit of a 44. 44. So this is Malko Mataska, a reputed druid tortured by visions of dark futures. He is a mystic. When you are lost, they offered you guidance and set you on the right path. So this would be somebody who would live out of Talagaad. So it might be somebody that you engage with. And since none of you are wizards, having somebody who actually is familiar with magic as a contact is not a bad thing. So something to think about. Yeah. Lovely. That's me. That's my assets, isn't it?
That's your
context.
Contacts.
That's the one.
And I will, between now and next week, I will individually share more information about your contacts with you because I do a much more elaborate write-up in the Game Master's Guide. All right. Let's go with our noble.
So what's it, D100?
D100, but you have to choose which two you want to go with. And your choices are the great and the good, which are like high society, or comrades in arms. You can do one of each, or you can do two of either one.
Let's go with one of each.
Okay.
So great and the good first, I guess.
I like it.
79.
79. Okay, so your contact is Ascilia Sereth.
Oh.
This is kind of interesting. She's an agent of the High Elf Ambassador in Talabheim, and also a devious spy master, though you don't necessarily know she's a spy master. But since you have a High Elf in your party, maybe it makes sense that
connected. Yeah. Sorry, what was the name?
It's EASC Escalia.
It's a silly name. Okay. Escalia.
Last name Sereth, Sereth.
Cool. And she's
Now,
an agent of the High Elf. Is that an
Yeah.
elf or is that a human?
she's a high elf. She's
Okay.
an agent of the High Elf Ambassador. She is herself a high elf. And your connection with her is she's blackmailing you to
Well, it only happens to Rog.
she's blackmailing you to aid in her political agenda. And if you refuse, you'll be ruined. But that kind of makes sense because you're a noble. So you have an interesting relationship. She's blackmailing you, but she also covets your high society position. So you can still leverage your relationship with her to get information and things like that. And
So
she's
it's
not
kind of
necessarily she's not blackmailing you for money. She's blackmailing you for information. So it could be sort of a quid pro quo scenario.
Yeah. So it doesn't have to necessarily be one-sided. It could be a
No, yeah.
slightly mutual.
I mean,
But
if you refuse,
I know she's
she
got
might,
dirt on me.
yeah, she's got the dirt on you. So I mean, and this is an interesting thing about contacts and how this game works. Like you guys could decide that you want to get that dirt that she has on Roger's character, so that he's on an even playing field with her, and that would be a series of adventures that we would do. So, all right. So your comrades in arms.
87.
87. So you are your contact is Rosamund Nimovich.
Why can't they just be called like Dave?
She is an impoverished deserter, formerly from one of the free companies. And what was your role again? What was the dice?
Hang on. Take back to that. 87.
Okay, 87. So you respect her and turn when they can. Old mercenary. Now, you
Sorry, I only caught I respect their deeds. I missed the rest.
and they respect you in return, so they help you
Okay.
whenever they can.
So mutual respect. Okay.
Yep. All right. What's our Sea Guard's contact options?
My Sea Guard options are Comrade in Arms and the Common Folk.
Okay, so you can do two of one or one of each.
I'm gonna do 2 of 1.
Okay, and which one are you picking?
I think given the militaristic nature of the Lothran Sea Guard, it's going to be Comrades in Arms.
Makes sense to me. All right, give me a D100 and tell me what you get.
There we go. Boom. First one, 6.
6. So Hunter Lord Leonard von Obelman,
I'll get a Leonard.
Commander of the 11th Regiment occupying Talagaad.
Ooh.
So they were sent from Talabheim to sort of bring about the peace. So that's the 2nd Regiment in here. Most of the Talagaad peoples sort of resent the fact that the 11th is here, but you're a high elf, so you know that doesn't really matter to you. So he is the lord. He is in charge of that regiment. And with the 6, they ignored your advice and lost a critical battle as a result, a fact you never let them forget. So your comrades in arms, your soldiers, and they respect you enough that they asked your opinion, and then they foolishly ignored it to their detriment.
Cool.
And your second roll.
Gosh, 71.
71. So your second contact is Cox Flummery, a cheerful halfling bounder, a local legend with criminal connections. So he was a military scout turned criminal. I mean, this is classic Jim Halfling. I mean, all the way. And what was your role?
71.
71. They tell you spellbinding stories about their wider world, some of which are even true. So maybe a drinking buddy, somebody you like to hang out with because they make you laugh. But he's also a criminal, so he's got connections to the criminal underworld.
He's the only man who could make me laugh.
That's right.
Oh no, it's frozen again.
Oh, that's.
Quite a charming grin now.
I was going to say that's a
It's
classic.
a very, very charming smile.
It's the last smile many a person saw before the dolphin appeared.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. He's having real problems.
He's gone.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah.
What
I'm
were we-
hoping he'll come. I'm sure he'll come back.
I mean, I think I've got the table. What were we rolling on? I might be able to help.
I've done both mine.
Has Stu done his yet?
No, am I the last one to go? Am I?
Can anyone see the career Stu's got
Ooh,
as to what his
alright.
contacts are?
entertainer. I've got common.
Common folk or
Oh, he's
wanderers
back.
and
He's
wastrels?
back.
Oh, he's
Aaron,
back again.
you cut out again there for a while, mate.
Yeah, no, I saw.
Okay,
Sorry
cool.
about that. My internet is suffering from gremlins. And I
Been
cut out
feeding
again.
him again, haven't you?
How about now?
Yep, bit better.
Oh,
Yep.
All right, fantastic. So the common folk or wanderers and wastrels.
Okay, so let's start with one from the common folk.
All right, a D100.
D100, 97.
97. Okay, so your contact is Elena Genizo or Genizo. So that's Olena, second name Genezzo. This is an apothecary with powers beyond her understanding.
Oh.
And your roll was 99?
97.
97. They diagnosed you with something incurable. Supposedly, it will kill you one day. So you've got something going on. It's a bit of a danger. And again, like this is an opportunity. Like you know, after a downtime, you guys could say, you know what? We're going to go talk to Elena. We're going to figure out what we need to do to cure Stu's character. And then you go off on that adventure. That's one of the things I like about this. It's more sandboxy of an opportunity once we get past the grim portent.
Some antibiotics, probably.
Possibly, yes. Now, do you want to roll on wanderers and wastrels or the common folk again?
Yeah, let's go for wanderers.
I like it.
So, 42.
42. Okay. This is the same one that our brigand got, Malco Mataska. So you can keep it or you can roll again if you want.
Let's go for a different one. Make it
All right.
interesting, shall we? Yeah. Unless you want us to have the same one and you can connect us through him, or no?
No, I mean, it's up to you, but it's definitely not necessary.
No,
because these contacts should be able to offer you something, some sort of assistance. And if you both got two of the same one, then you know you're not really getting the full opportunity.
Let's go for 20 then.
20. Jaime de Sabatine, a Bretonian tomb robber, antiquarian, and swashbuckler. Sounds like a fun guy. Perhaps unknowingly, you helped them steal something valuable. Maybe Kimrian scrolls or a Duke signet ring, whatever. So you've either inadvertently or with full knowledge helped them steal something of great value. And I can already tell you, I will decide what that is. And,
okay.
And it may come back to haunt you at some point. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have
and in fact, if you're gonna decide that, Aaron, then let's go for I inadvertently helped him.
I like it. So and the way these contacts work are you might be stuck in an investigation. You might go talk to one of your contacts and they might help point you in the right direction. They may be able to help you with resources, but oftentimes if you ask a favor of your contact, they are going to expect a favor in return. And during downtime and during endeavors, your contacts can call you up and say, hey, you owe me. And then if it's an easy fix, it might happen during downtime. And if it's not, it may be your next adventure that you guys have to go on. All right, so we've talked about that, about your contacts. Let's go ahead and go over your assets really quick. So assets, these are large things that you either own or you have access to that kind of ground you in the community. So you all had choices. Let's start with our Sea Guard. What were your asset choices?
My asset choices were, I think, sailing.
No, those are lore.
No, hold on. I think I've lost it. There it is. Ship's Passage, Armory, or Mark of Honor. Okay,
so an armory, and you're a silver level. So yes. You have space. No, that's laboratory. Sorry. You have access to a guarded storehouse of weapons, ammunition, armor with a quartermaster to catalog them and smiths to repair them. Silver level characters have permission to access the state troop facilities at all times. So anytime you want to go to the armory, you could go to it. Your next choice was
Ship's Passage.
Ship's Passage. That's going to be on Animals and Vehicles. Ship's Passage. You have a standing arrangement for you and your friends and cargo to travel by sea. Silver tier indicates a merchant house or naval officer's commission. So anytime you wanted, you could all board a ship with your gear, and you would be treated like members of a merchant house. So you're not sleeping on the deck. You would have cabins and the like, and plenty of storage room for your equipment. And then your third option was
Mark of Honor.
Mark of Honor. You've earned a medal or trophy that denotes glorious service in a state troop regiment or other military outfit. Obviously, for you would be silver characters might still be serving with comrades to watch your back. So if you chose a Mark of Honor, and let's say you were in a bad situation or thought you were going into a bad situation and you needed more Sea Guard to help you, you could probably call up some friends in the Sea Guard and basically have a squad of hirelings to help you in a sticky situation. So
Dan,
you get to choose one of those.
You were going to go for Mark of Honor, weren't you? Or am I imagining that?
Yeah, potentially.
Okay. So in which case,
don't let it stop you.
Yeah, they're different for everybody because Dan's character is a brass tier, so it's not quite as tough as yours.
I think access to a barracks will probably be handy.
All right. So armory.
Mm-hmm.
And that's good because if you like
armory, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, if you
break
some equipment or something, you've got smiths who will repair it basically for free. All right, Brigand, what were your asset options?
There was a hideout, a secret hideout, a horse and stables, or a Mark of Honor.
Okay, horse and stable. You have a domesticated steed and facilities to stable them. So at your level, it's just a basic stable, but you would have a horse and livery in a basic stable somewhere. You said secret hideout. To secret hideout. Secret hideout. You have a space to lay low and camp out for a while, known only to you and your most trusted allies. Brass hideouts are little more than covered holes in the ground. So, it could be a cave out in the wilds. It could be an old burrow that you expanded. It could, anything.
I think I'm probably doing Mark of Honor, just because the horse and stable doesn't really make necessary sense for a brass. No. Also, I imagine my character has been in and around Talagaad their entire life up to this point. So it would make more sense that, and I'm thinking more honourable brigand, so probably one of the members of the Green Men.
Yeah, I like
so that he or she wears a badge that would suggest, or has something that suggests she's a member, and thus the guards are less likely to be awful to that person.
And as far as the asset, it says you're likely an ex-soldier. So you could have been a scout. You could have even been a member of the city guard. So that way you would have, if you were dealing with other soldiers, you would be able to perhaps get a bonus to your fellowship checks with them, etc. So
cool.
All right, let's talk about our noble. What were your choices?
I think it was coach, noble estate, and heirloom war gear.
Yep. So coach, the gold tier, your coaches is your own personal coach. So you have a well-appointed personal coach as an option, with obviously the horses and
the pimp mobile.
That's right. Noble estate, you own a villa in the city or a fortified manor overseeing acres of farmland outside of the city. It is attended by servants, laborers, and guards. So, I mean, you literally have a noble's villa.
That's pretty badass. I like that.
That's pretty badass. Now, the heirloom war gear, you have inherited a blessed or magical item from your ancestors. Discuss its nature with the GM. They may award you something from the magic items chapter of the Game Master's Guide.
I mean, just spitballing here, Rune Fang?
No, but if you want to go that way, I'll either pull something out of the Game Master's Guide and give it to you, or we can discuss it in the next over the week.
I do like the idea of like having my own like little pad.
Not just little. I mean, this is a manor house.
So. Oh yeah, no, I know. It's just what he'll call it.
Yeah. A home away from home when you're away from the family's greater estate.
Yeah, you know, I haven't inherited my family's estates yet. That's just my little house.
That's right.
My cottage.
I like it.
Yeah, I'll go with
so
noble
think about
estate.
That. Excellent. And our entertainer. What were your options, Stu?
Wow. My options are a theatre, a secret identity, or a traveling stage, I believe.
Excellent. So theater, at the brass level, you have access to a stage for plays, music, blood sports, and other performances. Brass theaters are usually in either, like, you have access to a tavern basement or a patch of ground in the market square where they let you set up. Your second one was traveling theater. Let me find that. Traveling stage. Painted carriages with two beasts to pull them are used to transport and house traveling entertainers with fold-out or raised platforms for performances. So basically, you would have a painted carriage and two horses or two mules to pull it, and then you could fold it down and pull your stage out that way. And then your last option was, remind me again.
Secret identity.
You want to know my secret identity? Got to be Batman.
Yeah.
Okay,
as a halfling.
Bat elf.
So you have an alias you use for work, which is known and recognized by those in the know, or a second life you can retreat to in case of emergency. However, at the brass level, it's basically like a word of mouth identity. You've got no paperwork backing it up or anything like that. So those are your three choices.
That's interesting. Do we have any form of transport at the moment? I don't think we do we?
Not exactly per se, but with Roger at gold tier status, the way statuses work is you each get 3 coin of your tier and you can spend, but they're not like an individual coin. They're like, it's like a bag of brass or a bag of silver or a bag of gold. But if you're a gold tier, you don't need to worry about anything that doesn't cost gold. So like if you wanted to purchase something at the silver tier or the brass tier, you don't have to pinch pennies. For silver characters, you don't have to pinch pennies if you're buying something for brass. So
buying a wagon wouldn't be a problem.
Or renting one would not be a problem if Roger was going along.
I've got two thoughts here, and I'll go with what the guys think on this one. So, I thought about a traveling stage, which rather than the sort of wagon and stuff, maybe a donkey that's got ropes, poles, straw covers for the poles, and a canvas floor, so I can set up a ring in the middle of anywhere, nowhere, or even in the middle in the market square. Or there's the basement of a pub where there's bare knuckle boxing matches and betting and
Yeah,
all that
I like
kind
the
of
sound
stuff
of that.
going on. So that sounds good, does it? Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's just thinking about it. I'm trying to think of it from my character's perspective. I could definitely see him, slumming it with
Betting.
and then
Betting
going
on
down
the, yes.
gambling. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
So there you go. So like
Just a suggestion. Obviously, it's entirely
no,
up to you.
I like that idea. So access to a theatre. There's a group of people who we go down. It's like Fight Club, isn't it? But not quite. No. So an entertainment in a pub or an inn somewhere where they do the bare knuckle boxing and the wrestling and things like that, and people come and bet on it. So real
Fantastic.
seedy joint.
So a little bit of homework for everybody here. So Stu, it's up
Yep.
to you to name this this tavern, where it's at, who the owner is, and what your arrangement is with them that allows you to use the basement for a fighting ring.
Yeah.
Our Sea Guard, you have to decide whether or not you're actively in the regiment defending the ambassadorial estates and going out for them, or if you're a guard, like a personal guard within the embassy. For our noble, you just have to decide what noble family you're from.
I mean, is there an existing list, or can I just kind of make it up?
You can make it up, but there are some prominent ones in the area,
Okay.
and I'll send you some information about that. And then finally, our brigand. You have to decide whether or not you work solo or if you work with a group of other brigands in the Green Men closely, and how much influence do they have on you? Like if they call you for help, are you going, or do you kind of work more solo now? All right, now we're moving on towards the final steps of character creation. Then we're going to talk a little bit about advancement and a few other things. Then we're going to get out of here. So looking at your characters, you can increase one skill you have that's at 3 right now to 4, or you can increase 2 skills that are at 2 to 3.
I will increase my melee to 4.
And which one was that?
I will increase my melee from 3 to 4.
Excellent. Anybody else know?
Yeah, I will be increasing my dexterity and my endurance to 3.
And for everybody's information, so how this works is whatever characteristic that skill equates to, you roll the dice of the characteristic, and you have to get equal to or below your skill to get a success.
Oh,
so
wow.
if your
So
skill is 3, you got to roll 3 or less on a d10, but you might have 3 or 4 d10. So that's why it's starting our base characters are a bunch of wild and crazy young troops. That will increase. There are upper limits. There's characteristics based on your origin, and there are upper limits to skills, but we'll get there.
When those skill points that we've accumulated along the way,
Yep, the
for
XP.
randomness, how do they work?
I'm going to tell you in a minute. We're going to get to advancement as soon as
I'm
we
too
finish the final
keen.
steps.
I'm too
You're
keen.
too keen. I like it. Does anybody
Story of
else
my
know where
life.
they're spending their bonus skill point or points?
What's under reasoning? There's willpower and something else.
Recall.
And recall.
Recall. That's recalling like lore or knowledge. Or
Don't forget, Aaron, you can choose to do something else other than the skill increase, because it's one of these following. Not all of them.
Sorry. That's a good point. Yeah. So you can either increase your skill, you can gain another talent randomly rolled from your origins talent, or you can roll on the random assets table to get another asset. It's up to you. Sorry about that. I should have pointed that out. Thank you for catching me.
So
it's the random assets table. sounds like one.
Yeah. Okay. Roll a D100.
Oh no, where is it? Sorry, I was going to have a
Oh,
quick
it's-
nose
it's
to see if I
it's on
was-
page 61.
61.
It's the same list of assets. It's just random. It's not going to be tied to your career, but it is based on your whether you're brass, silver, or gold.
Okay, so I couldn't
And you
get like
can't-
lumped
it-
with a brass asset.
No, you'll get a gold because it's the 3 columns, and you would roll and get a gold. If you're brass or silver and you wanted a higher tier asset, you could spend one of the bonus XP that you earned to roll in the table above your level as well. And technically, and I should have pointed this out earlier, but I didn't, if you want to get a bonus XP, you can reduce your status by 1. So Roger could be the black sheep of the noble family and just be silver instead of gold. If you're already brass, you're just out of luck. But the Sea Guard could be on the outs and be a brass level instead of silver level. But I didn't think you guys would want to do that. But you can if you want to.
No, I'm good.
Okay. So does anybody want to know, or does anybody decided what their final step choice is?
Yeah, I'm going to go for a talent, I think.
Okay.
So
back to the inhuman, or I mean, back to Wood Elf.
Yeah,
And
I rolled a 4.
4. That's exceptional hearing.
Okay.
And exceptional hearing, this gives us a second while everybody's thinking. Your hearing is unusually acute. So long as you are not deafened, you can make awareness tests to hear whispers, mechanical ticks, and conversations through walls that would be inaudible to most characters. You do not suffer penalties from being blinded when making melee attacks or opposing melee attacks. So you're a blind fighter. That's pretty handy.
That could be good, interesting entertainment, couldn't it?
That's a fact. All right. Who else knows what final step they want?
I
stick-
did. I stuck
okay,
with the
just-
skill. I stuck with the
okay.
skills that I said earlier.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Roger, how about you?
I'm probably going to do skills. I'm just trying to decide if I want to do 1 from 3 to 4.
Yep.
Or 2 from 2 to 3.
Sounds good. While you were talking about that, we will go ahead and talk about advancement. So if you look at page 66, talks about advancement. It also gives you the chart with the maximum characteristics for your particular origin. So when you've got XP during downtime, or right now during character creation, you can spend experience points to increase characteristics by 1. In order to increase a characteristic, you need to get enough XP to exceed your current level by 1. So let's say you've got a weapon skill of 3 and you want to raise it to 4. You need to save 4 XP and then spend it, and then your character, and then your weapon skill will go up to 4. You can bank the XP you have right now. You do not have to spend it. The second thing you can spend XP on is by buying talents. So you can take a look at the talents. There are some with prerequisites. So if you want to spend your XP right now on a potential talent, they range generally in cost from like 3 to 5. But as long as you meet the talents prerequisite at this stage, you can purchase it. You might be wondering, well, how do I increase skills then? Increasing skills are an endeavor that you do during downtime. And the way your endeavors work during downtime is you get 1 endeavor for every game session that we had, not to exceed 3. So let's say you're on an adventure and it takes 2 game sessions. When we go into downtime, you would get to do 2 endeavors. If it took 4 sessions, when we get to downtime, you get to do 3 endeavors. So I'm going to try to make sure that most of our adventure chunks are around 3. No more than 3, because I don't want to hose you guys when it comes to endeavors. But what you would do to increase a skill is you roll against that skill as one of your endeavors. Like you say, I'm out and I'm training on shooting. And I've got my target up and I'm going to shoot, I'm going to shoot, I'm going to shoot. So you roll your dice, you roll your ballistic skill against your current shooting skill level. And for every one you fail, you mark a tick. And once you mark enough ticks to exceed your current skill level, you erase all the ticks and then your skill goes up by 1. So the better you get at a skill, the harder it is to advance it. There are lots of other endeavors you can do. You can study to learn a new lore. With the study lore endeavor, you can purchase new trappings. You can acquire assets. You can save money or invest money. And you can even change careers, but it's more complicated when you go to change careers. So basically, if you want to change a career, you have to have already learned all the lores for that career. You have to have all the essential assets for that career. And then you also have to have a narrative and logical reason for changing careers. Like if you were a rat catcher and you wanted to be a noble, I might say, well, then, first you have to learn high society lore. And then in learning that lore, you realize you believe that you're a long lost scion of a noble family. The classic, my mother had twins and they ferreted me off and gave me to a rat catcher's family because they didn't want there to be division in the family later. And then there would probably be a series of adventures that you would undergo with your team to prove that you were part of that. And then at the end of that, I would say, okay, you can change career to noble. So it's not as cut and dry as it is in 4E. That makes it more, so it gives you some interesting role-playing opportunities and some interesting potential adventures to go on. Okay. Anybody have any questions about any of that?
Nope, I already know my advancement.
And what is it?
Ballistic skill, because it's 2. I'm taking it to 3, and because it's my favored skill, it only cost me 2 to get it to 3.
That's right.
And so that was my 2 XP. I've gone 3 on ballistic skill because my character shoots a pistol. They probably should know how to use it a little bit.
You should know, yeah. So that's important, though. That's for when you're looking at your favored skills in your career. And if it's what the favored costs 1 less experience point to level up. So it's important to note. What else was I going to explain here? We sort of talked about how coins work or how your status works. One of the other important things about status is when you're dealing with NPCs of a different status, if you act in a way that's not keeping with your status, in other words, like if you're a brass tier entertainer and you get up in the face of a knight and you try to convince them to do something, you're going to get -1 dice to that. And then the fallout might be more extreme. So there is a very definite class system in this world. And it will definitely have an impact on how people relate to you. Okay, we're going to do one last step here, and that's character relationships. So each one of you is going to have some interaction with somebody else here. And it's a D10 roll. I'm going to start in alphabetical order. So Dan M, you're going to roll a D10, and it's going to define a relationship you have with somebody. And you're going to get to pick that person. And then that person is going to go. And then, of course, the third person to roll is just stuck with the last person. So, but there's going to be relationship status. So, Dan, roll a D10.
7.
7. Business. You were partners in business. The person you choose is either a customer, a supplier, an investor, or an employee. Which one of you owes the other person money? So you're a sea guard. So it might be somebody working in the embassy. It could be a member of the city guard that you deal with, or you're in business with, or it could be something shadier. You could buy stolen goods from the brigand, or you could be in a business venture with a nobleman. I mean, you could own part of the pugilist's ring underneath the tavern. So,
well, a brigand and his organization are in need of weapons and blades of high quality, and having access to an armory, that's pretty handy. So I say the brigand owes me a pretty penny for weapons supplied in lieu. And not normally an elf thing, but this, the elf believes in his pure spirit and willingness to do good, and to give to the poor and see these humans develop better. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
I think
All
that's
right.
rubbish. I think it's political machinations, and
oh yeah,
he's trying to empower the opposition party.
Yeah,
could be. But Dan P, you owe our high elf some coin.
I've got brass status. I can't afford to live, let alone
Maybe
pay
that's
the
why
elf.
you're so much in debt.
So
So
turn to brigandry.
roll a d10.
Cool. D10. I'm a 2.
2. A comrade. So you fought on the same side of a fight. Could have been a coaching in brawl, or an actual battle. You lost. What did it cost you? So who's your comrade in arms, and what did it cost you when you guys lost this battle?
I love it. I've got an idea for this. It's the noble. And I was a guard, which is why I've got my mark of honor, because I was a soldier, and I lost, and he basically ruined my life because he decided I wasn't good enough to be a noble's guard, and now I'm a brigand because of it.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's
Nice.
Fantastic.
Then
So
why
I
would I want
dislike.
to travel with you? That doesn't make sense.
Well, before I was a guard, so I'm saying my prior backgrounds, why I got my mark of honor, is that I was previously a soldier and I was guarding you as a noble. We fought a battle. I fucked up. We lost. You lost some very valuable items from your coach. You ruined my life and said that I was useless and nobody ever hired me ever again. And thus, I'm now a brass brigand.
And that gives us an interesting role-playing opportunity for you to repair your relationships together.
Or shoot him in the back when he's not looking.
Or shoot him back when he's not
probably
looking.
that.
All right, Roger, you're up. Roll a d10 and tell us how you and Stu know one another.
8.
An 8. Rivals. You're in competition for some sort of exclusive job, a public office, someone's favor. What are you competing for?
God.
And it could be something like...
Perhaps it was actually we were competing in the ring.
Oh,
Perhaps
okay.
because I'm quite good with a sword, I think. Perhaps we were like competing or we're both in the tournament in his underground fighting pit, and we're rivals to see who wins.
Oh, fantastic! So you do a little bit of pugilism, and the two of you are rivals over the champion of the ring. I like it.
Or
so
perhaps I'm managing his. Actually, probably makes more sense. I manage his rival. Therefore, kind of indirectly, I'm his, because I don't want to get my own hands dirty. That sounds.
Oh,
like
that makes sense. Yeah. So you're managing a fighter that's given Stu a run for his money.
Yeah, one of my guards is basically a fighter that fights in Stu's rings.
Big Bruno the Basher. I like it. All right. So now we have something that sort of ties everybody together loosely. So and then what's going to happen?
Can we have others, or? I mean, not randomized ones, because I was just thinking I could know Dan's Sea Guard because I do have contacts at the High Elf Embassy.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, you may know him, but you're not.
Not particularly connected.
Yeah, you might know him to know his name, but you're not in a relationship of some sort with him at this point. So what's going to happen next session is we have our Grim Portent, and this is the event that draws all of you together and brings you to the notice of some perilous force. It could be an evil noble family. It could be a tomb lord. It could be a goblin tribe. It could be the Bray herd, or anything in between. So you'll find yourselves at the beginning of the next session in a situation that you have to get yourselves out of, and you have to draw together to do it. And then you're going to have to deal with the fallout of that as a group. And that's what sort of binds you together in the beginning, and then helps you to form relationships across the entire, across all of your boundaries. So between now and then, flesh out your assets, get an idea of a better idea of your assets. Obviously, character names, a little bit about your character background. You guys are all tied to the city now. Like, do you have families here? If you're silver tier, you might be living in the embassy, but you might also have a townhouse. At silver tier, you would have that. If you're a brass tier, you're probably living. You might, Stu, you might be living above that tavern, or you might, so figure out where you're living, figure out if you have family. You may have family. All of this is potential fodder for me to use against you. But between now and next week, kind of send me shoot me a DM with a more fleshed out background of your character, how your assets work, etc., how your relationship with one another that you selected plays out. And if you want to make any changes between now and then, obviously, feel free to do so. That is going to be our session 0. Looking forward to session 1 next week. Hopefully my internet settles down and I don't have to slap it around quite as much next week. We'll see. Just want to point out that in addition to Warhammer Wednesdays coming back, Pete is still going to be continuing on Thursdays, and not next week or not this week, but in a Thursday in October, you'll be able to check him out running Draw Steel, a new tactical game that looks fantastic. And in addition, Richard is taping season 3 of Imperium and Maledictum, which will be being released later in time, either as a filler or a little bit later. So a lot of things going on. Definitely, while you're watching this, please give us a thumbs up and a comment. It helps the algorithm. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and join us on the Discord. We're always there. You can beat me up for my crappy internet and my horrible GMing. I can take a lot of abuse. Throw that in the YouTube comments too, because it always gets people fired up and makes me chuckle. So, but definitely join us in Gartopia. Thank you for watching. Thank you, my players, for suffering through session 0 with me. I hope you had a good time. And without further ado, I will say good night and see you all next week. Good night.
Ooh, we're back.
Good night.